From New Delhi, you're watching DD India, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in News Hour. Angola President Joao Lourenço wraps up his India visit, emphasizes strong political and economic partnership while addressing the business forum. In Singapore, People's Action Party reaffirms its political grip over the city-state under Prime Minister Lawrence Wong. Russian President Putin hopes there will be no need to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Masterclasses and workshops in focus on the final day of the World Audiovisual and Entertainment Summit in Mumbai. Today is the final day of Angola President Joao Lourenço's state visit to India. President Lourenço addressed the India-Angola Business Forum in New Delhi, where he called for deeper economic and trade cooperation between the two nations. Lourenço said that there is strong political commitment between India and Angola, and both countries are determined to move forward together. He noted that India has expertise in the field of generic medicines, while Angola possesses vast tracts of land offering great potential for collaboration in agriculture and healthcare. He also invited Indian businesses to invest in Angola's logistics sector. Referring to the agreement signed on Friday, the president said that these pacts will help Indian industries enter the Angolan market more easily. And he emphasized that Angola now has simplified business procedures and significantly has reduced waiting times for enterprises. The Indian Minister of State for External Affairs, Kirti Vardhan Singh, delivered the keynote address at the India-Angola Business Forum, and speaking on the occasion, the minister said that the Angola president's visit to India is a historic and transformative moment in bilateral ties. He underlined the strong economic foundations shared by the two countries, and he also welcomed Angola as the 123rd member of the International Solar Alliance, describing it as a step towards a sustainable future.
Angola is undergoing a remarkable change. With the diversification of its economy, modernization of infrastructure, and improving the ease of doing business, Angola has strengthened its presence on the global stage. Our bilateral relations are underpinned by a vibrant energy partnership, and bilateral trade between our two countries has been growing and reached $4.2 billion in the 2023 and 24 period. Angola is now the 123rd member of the International Solar Alliance, and the Government of India has approved a line of credit of $200 million for further strengthening our defense and security cooperation.
The Angola President, Joao Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, on Saturday condemned the Pahalgam terror attack. The Angola President, who is the current chair of the 55-member African Union, also expressed solidarity with India in tackling terrorism in all its forms, including cross-border terrorism.
Angola foi das primeiras a reagir imediatamente após os tristes acontecimentos na região de Caxemira, em que vitimaram vidas humanas. Portanto, a seu devido tempo, fizemos chegar às autoridades indianas os nossos sentimentos de pesar ao povo indiano e às famílias enlutadas, uma vez que tratou-se de um ato de terrorismo e Angola, obviamente, que condena qualquer tipo de terrorismo, não importa onde ele seja cometido. Para, mais uma vez, reiterarmos a nossa solidariedade para com o povo indiano neste momento difícil e fazer votos de que a sabedoria indiana conseguirá ultrapassar este momento difícil, superar este desafio que está a enfrentar, sem que se eleve para níveis insustentáveis o nível de tensão existente.
And Akshay Dongre, my colleague, joins us now with more inputs on Indo-Angolan ties. Akshay, what are the potential areas of business cooperation after that business forum meeting?
Well, one of the first and perhaps the foremost area of collaboration can be energy infrastructure. And in fact, India has offered its expertise in urban infrastructure, in urban and energy infrastructure as well when it comes to the rural areas to the president of Angola. Stating that India would be happy to collaborate on that front. Besides that, defense remains one of the key areas which can see a lot of collaboration between the two countries. India has already extended a line of credit for worth $200 million to Angola. So when it comes to these kind of line of credits, then we can also expect Angola to also show some interest when it comes to modernizing their armed forces in going for the Indian product. So defense remains also one of those areas which can see a lot of potential. Besides these two, there is pharmaceutical industry, agriculture. As our report rightly mentioned, that there is a lot of scope for agriculture collaboration between the two countries because there are large swaths of lands in Angola that can be harvested and can provide food security to the country. But besides that, there are a range of areas which can see a lot of further collaboration between the two countries. One of them is telecommunication, especially India. Spreading its 5G networks across the country to each and every nook and corner is an inspiration model for a lot of countries in the global south. Back to you.
Akshay, also, to what extent has political commitment from President Lorenzo actually enthused Indian business interest? Because he said that, the ease of doing business now has vastly improved.
Well, absolutely. This remains one of the key areas of interest, not just for Angola, but almost in every sort of bilateral trade and relation. The other side expects the similar kind of, or at least, if not better, at least similar kind of ease of businesses as they have in their respective countries. In the case of Angola, yes, the expectation is higher because the margin of incurring losses are lesser for the businesses of the country. It's a developing country like ours, and that perhaps is the reason why certain things had to be stated early on. But when it comes to other aspects of ease of doing business, Angola can largely benefit from a trade between the two countries. India can also benefit more because as of now the bilateral trade is mostly favored in favor of Angola because we are buying a lot of natural resources, fossil and fuels from Angola. In fact, it is the second largest provider of crude LPG and other kind of natural fossil
Yes.
gases or other kind of resources as far as the energy sector is concerned. So as of now, the trade largely is energy, but it has to be diversified, and one of those aspects that will help it, both Angola and India, will be ease of doing business in both the countries.
We'll leave it there. Akshay Dongre, thanks very much. Now, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar attended the India Forum co-hosted by the Arctic Circle and the Observer Research Foundation, ORF, in collaboration with the Ministry of External Affairs in New Delhi, on the theme, the Polar Order, the Arctic and Asia. Now, speaking at this forum, Dr. Jaishankar highlighted India's growing relationship with the Nordic countries and the evolving geopolitical situation and its impact on India's ties with world powers.
We are going to see, in a sense, arena or a domain of contestation, which is not going to be easy to recall. Now, this is not unique. I mean, we are going to see it in space, we're going to see it underwater, we're going to see it in AI. So, we are looking at a much more contested world, much sharper competition. We look for partners. We don't look for preachers. Particularly preachers who don't practice at home what they preach abroad. And I think some of Europe is still struggling with that problem. Some of it is changing. So, the issue for us, I mean, in many ways, Europe, I think, has entered a certain zone of reality check. Now, whether they are able to step up to it or not, it's something we will have to see. But From our point of view, if we are to develop a partnership, there has to be some understanding, there has to be some sensitivity, there has to be a mutuality of interest, and there has to be a realization of how the world works.
Dr. Jaishankar said that India follows realism and highlighted the need to engage with Russia in a particularly interdependent world. So the minister also said that India is looking for partners and not preachers.
Of course, international relations is conducted on the basis of some fundamental realism, and that realism requires an engagement with Russia. There is a need to engage Russia. I mean, nobody wants wars. These are particularly in a very interdependent world. For us to engage Russia, and if there is any way we can be of any help, we have always been very open about it. Having said that, we have also been very careful not to prescribe a solution. If you have situations where everything is gridlocked, and then say, well, how do we get a global governance answer?
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh, met Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday. Earlier on Saturday, the Naval Chief, Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi, had met the Prime Minister at his residence. These meetings took place days after Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a high-level meeting which was attended by the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, the Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, and the 3 service chiefs. The National Security Advisor Ajit Doval was present at these meetings. India has announced a series of measures, including putting the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance to send a strong message to Pakistan for its support to cross-border terrorism. Pakistan's army posts resorted to unprovoked small arms fire during the night of the 3rd and the 4th of May across the LOC areas opposite Kupwara, Baramulla, Poonch, Rajouri, Mendar, Naushera, Sundarbani and Akhnur in Jammu and Kashmir. The Indian Army responded promptly and proportionately. Meanwhile, according to the Border Security Force sources, a Pakistani ranger has been apprehended by the BSF along the India-Pakistan border in Rajasthan. The ranger has been taken into custody and is being questioned. A missile launched from Yemen on Sunday landed near Israel's Ben Gurion airport, the country's main international hub. The Israeli military confirmed the projectile came from Yemen and struck close to the airport. Emergency services reported no serious injuries. Airport authorities said the missile landed near a road near the parking lot, with police footage showing a crater in a nearby orchard. Yemen's Houthis have claimed responsibility for the missile attack. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called on Qatar to stop playing both sides and urged it to choose between civilization and supporting Hamas. Despite efforts by Egyptian and Qatari mediators to restore ceasefire, neither Israel nor Hamas has shown willingness to back down on core demands, with each side blaming the other for the failure to reach a deal. Israel, which wants the return of 59 hostages still held in Gaza, has insisted Hamas must disarm and be excluded from any role in the future governance of the enclave, a condition that Hamas rejects. It has insisted on agreeing to a lasting end to the fighting and the withdrawal of Israeli forces as a condition for a deal that would see a release of the hostages. Qatar on Sunday rejected comments from Netanyahu that it needed to stop playing both sides in truce negotiations. The Foreign Ministry spokesperson Majid Al-Ansari said in a post on X that Qatar firmly rejects the inflammatory statements, and he stated that the state of Qatar continues to work closely with both the Arab Republic of Egypt and the United States of America to secure an immediate ceasefire, ensure the uninterrupted flow of humanitarian aid, and advance a just and lasting peace, one grounded in justice and humanity. The Russian President Vladimir Putin says that Moscow has sufficient strength and resources to take the war in Ukraine to its logical conclusion. In a preview of an upcoming interview on Russian state television, Putin said that the need to use nuclear weapons does not arise to achieve targets in Ukraine, as Moscow has all types of resources to achieve the target. He ordered thousands of Russian troops into Ukraine in February 2022, triggered Europe's biggest ground conflict since World War II.
Хотели добиться того, чтобы мы совершили ошибки.
They wanted to provoke us, as you said it yourself. They wanted us to make mistakes. There was no need to use the weapons you spoke about, and I hope they will not be required. We have enough strength and means to bring what was started in 2022 to a logical conclusion with the outcome Russia requires.
Tensions escalate as Russia and Ukraine accused each other of retaliatory strikes. Russia's overnight drone attack on Kiev injured at least 11 people, including 2 children, and set several residential buildings throughout the city on fire on Sunday. Firefighters battled large flames from damaged buildings and dousing charred vehicles. Earlier, Russian strikes also hit Ukraine's Cherkasy region, causing fires and damage to residential buildings. Ukrainian forces reported downing a Russian Su-30 fighter jet over the Black Sea. Russia reported destroying over 20 Ukrainian unmanned surface vessels targeting Crimea and shot down more than 200 drones and other aerial targets on Saturday. Still to come here on DD India News Hour. Anthony Albanese becomes the first Australian leader to win a second consecutive term in 2 decades. Romanians return to the polls for a rerun of November's annulled presidential election. A car crash at Manila airport kills 2. Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Lawrence Wong on his party's resounding victory in Singapore's general elections. In a post on X, Prime Minister Modi wrote, and I quote, "Heartiest congratulations, Lawrence Wong, on your resounding victory in the general elections. India and Singapore share a strong and multifaceted partnership underpinned by close people-to-people ties. I look forward to continue working closely with you to further advance our comprehensive strategic partnership." Singapore's long dominant People's Action Party secured a decisive win in a closely watched general election, reaffirming its political grip under the newly appointed Prime Minister Lawrence Wong. With stability reaffirmed at the ballot box, all eyes now are on how Prime Minister Wong will manage Singapore's evolving economic and social pressures. More in this report.
Singaporeans voted for Prime Minister Lawrence Wong and his People's Action Party in the city-state's general elections. In his first electoral test since taking office, Wong led the PAP to a resounding victory, claiming 87 out of the 97 seats in Parliament and securing over 65% of the vote.
This is my first election as Prime Minister and as Secretary General of the PAP. So it's been a very humbling experience working with all of you, interacting and engaging with all of you. We are grateful once again for your strong mandate, and we will honor it we will honor the trust that you have given to us by working even harder for all of you.
Despite concerns over rising living costs and housing shortages, voters opted for continuity amid global economic headwinds, including the threat of recession and US tariff pressures.
The results will put Singapore in a better position to face this turbulent world. Many are watching the elections closely, whether it's international media, investors, or foreign governments. They will have taken note of tonight's results. It's a clear signal of trust, stability, and confidence in your government.
The main opposition Workers' Party retained its 10 seats, falling short of making further gains after modest progress in previous elections. The result reinforces the PAP's 6-decade-long dominance, delivering its 14th consecutive win since Singapore's independence in 1965. With a landslide victory, Wong now faces the challenge of steering one of Asia's most prosperous economies through uncertain global tides. Bureau Report, DD India.
Mr. Anthony Albanese has been re-elected as the country's leader, becoming the first to win a second consecutive term in 2 decades. Albanese, he pledged to run a disciplined and orderly government after voters showed a clear preference for his centre-left Labour Party over the Conservative, Liberal and National coalition.
The Australian people voted for unity rather than division. We will be a disciplined, orderly government in our second term, just like we have been in our first. We've been given the great honour of serving the Australian people, and we don't take it for granted, and we'll work hard each and every day.
The Australian Broadcasting Corporation has projected that the Labour Party is likely to expand its majority in Parliament to at least 85 seats from 77, and with over 2/3 of the votes tallied, the final results will be clearer after counting resumes on a Monday. Anthony Albanese met his supporters at a cafe in Sydney on Sunday, a day after he triumphed in the national elections. The left-leaning leader saw off his Conservative rival Saturday in a contest swayed by economic upheaval and the US President Donald Trump. Albanese's victory, it cements his leadership amid shifting political dynamics in the region, with many Australians backing his promises of steady economic management, climate action and social reform. Romanians returned to the polls on Sunday for a rerun of November's annulled presidential election, with a far-right candidate again expected to win the first round. Hard-right politician George Simeon voted in the presidential election rerun on Sunday. He opposes military aid to neighboring Ukraine and is aligned with the US President's Make America Great Again movement. The latest opinion puts Simeon on course to win the first round. The former Romanian Senator Crin Anatoscu also voted in the presidential election rerun on Sunday. Antonescu is in fact backed by 3 parties in the current pro-Western government.
Any presidential campaign is incredibly difficult. Even more, it has been a long campaign. I don't refer strictly to the 30 days, but rather to the whole history and the psychological charge that have built up because of this campaign.
Gabon's ex-junta chief, Brice Oligui Nguema, was sworn in as the country's 4th president, signaling a return to constitutional order after nearly 2 years of political transition. Nguema was sworn in as the president in front of approximately 40,000 people, including 16 African heads of state, during a ceremony near Libreville. Nguema took nearly 95% of the vote in Gabon's first election since Oligui toppled Ali Bongo in August of 2023. Nguema swept elections on April 12 and with nearly 95% of the vote, defeating 7 other candidates, including the outgoing Prime Minister Alain Claude Benezi, who in fact finished second with just 3%. None of the other 6 candidates scored more than 1%. The Mexican President, Claudia Sheinbaum, has said that the US President Donald Trump had proposed sending troops to Mexico to combat drug trafficking, but said that she had rejected that offer because sovereignty is not for sale. Sheinbaum's comments were in response to questions about a report published on May 2 that said that Trump was pressuring Mexico to allow deeper US military involvement against drug cartels to combat trafficking across the shared border. Speaking at a public event on Saturday, Sheinbaum said that Trump had asked her during a call how he could help fight organized crime and suggested sending US troops. The Mexican leader said she declined Trump's offer.
In one of the calls, President Trump said it was important for the US Army to enter Mexico to help us in the fight against drug trafficking. I propose that we can collaborate, we can work together, but you can do it in your own territory. We can do it in ours. We can share information, but we will never accept the presence of the US Army in our territory.
A tragic accident near the entrance of Manila's Ninoy Aquino International Airport on Sunday claimed the lives of a 29-year-old man and a 5-year-old girl. According to the Department of Transportation, the accident occurred when a black SUV broke through the outer railing and collided with the walkway near the entrance of the airport's Terminal 1. Speaking at the scene, Philippines Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon said that authorities were interviewing the driver who allegedly caused the incident.
We express our condolences to the people affected, especially to the overseas Filipino worker whose child has died. This is hurtful. They are investigating it. They are interviewing the driver. The driver will be subjected to mandatory drug testing.
Let's take a look now at other stories making news around the world. Hundreds of people took to the streets of Mali's capital, Bamako. This happened on Saturday in a public show of defiance against the military-led government. The demonstration was sparked by growing concerns among opposition parties over the possible dissolution of political organizations by the ruling authorities. Billionaire investor Warren Buffett announced that he will step down from leading Berkshire Hathaway by the end of this year, ending an iconic era in American business. He will hand over the reins to the vice chairman Greg Abel, who was officially named as his successor in 2021. Abel, who has served as the vice chairman since 2018, is set to take over the company built by Buffett and his late business partner Charlie Munger. This happened over nearly 6 decades ago. The American pop lady star, Lady Gaga, and she has a Brazil concert, and it's set to attract over 1.6 million fans, possibly surpassing Madonna's record-breaking show last year. Backed by private sponsors, this concert is slated to rake in over $100 million into Rio's economy, revitalizing hotels, bars and restaurants. What's still to come on DD India News Hour. DRDO successfully conducts the maiden flight trials of the stratospheric airship platform in Madhya Pradesh. And Election Commission of India is all set to launch ECI Net, which is a state-of-the-art digital platform.
Over the next 5 years, the worldwide water demand will be 40% more than its supply. This will exacerbate food insecurity, among many, many other things. We explore solutions, innovations, and hope.
The idea was to give two things, like water which is affordable and that is cold to passengers.
Mangroves are being planted to buffer flooding. Their intricate roots stabilize beaches and help prevent coastal erosion.
Our hybrid silica gel is like a magic glue that brings the microplastic particles together. They then float to the surface where we can easily skim them off.
With government support, we could clean a lake and use the collected water hyacinths to produce our own products.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. Here's a recap of our main stories. The Angola President, João Lourenço, wraps up his India visit, emphasizes strong political and economic partnership while addressing business forum. Russian President Putin hopes that there will be no need to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Masterclasses and workshops in focus on the final day of the World Audio, Visual and Entertainment Summit in Mumbai. And now let's get you all those updates from Waves 2025, the first of its kind World Audio, Visual and Entertainment Summit in Mumbai. Well, the first ever global summit on new age entertainment Waves is set to conclude in Mumbai today. Representatives from over 75 countries are participating in this event that's promised to make India a global hub for content creation. Multiple sessions, including master classes and workshops, will be held on the final day of the World Audio, Visual and Entertainment Summit. And the Bharat Pavilion at the Waves Summit in Mumbai, it showcases the evolution of information in the field of cinema, also storytelling and entertainment in India, which has attracted over thousands of visitors each day. Let's take a look at this report by Dibyendu Mandal.
Welcome to the Bharat Pavilion here at the Waves Summit in Mumbai. This Bharat Pavilion showcases the amalgamation of the modern with the ancient. India has a history of storytelling, and India is often known as the land of storytellers. Let us take you inside this pavilion, which showcases how storytelling has developed in India over the years. Here, if you can see behind me, this Bharat Pavilion showcases the musical journey, the journey of musical instruments here in this Bharat Pavilion, which showcases, of course, the journey of how these musical instruments developed, the classical symphony, the divine resonance that echoes in the land of India. And of course, the journey of television, the journey of radio is all showcased here at the Bharat Pavilion. It also in fact showcases how the print medium, the newspapers, developed over the years. It showcases some of the beauties of India, some of the classical musical instruments, the music, the Sanskrit versions, and how storytelling, as we've been telling, have developed in this country over the many, many years of this tradition, of this art that India has in its roots. And of course, when we talk about music, it has evolved from cassettes and now to the cloud. And the future of what music and storytelling would be, this pavilion has it all. And this pavilion is a journey of India over the years, is a journey of India over the centuries of storytelling, of the development of music, and how Bharat has evolved as a nation, and how Bharat has taken giant strides in the field of cinema, in the field of music, and also in the field of radio. With campus in Monty, this is Dibyendu Mandal from Mumbai for DD India.
And with the Comic Creator Championship taking center stage at the dynamic Creator Sphere, this challenge under Waves 25 is in fact set to redefine India's comic book industry. It spotlights both amateur and professional talent in a high-energy showcase of bold storytelling and stunning visuals. Let's take a look at this report.
So we are at the Creator Sphere area where creativity breathes, and we are here at the Comics Corner, which I'll show you. This particular area is dedicated all and everything to comics and everything which is now getting revived. We have the winners of the comic challenge under the Create in India Championship. How was your experience at Wave? Giving out the Indian stories on the international level, how was that? How exciting was that part?
I think representing India and Indian comics on a global platform like Waves is I think I feel very fortunate, first of all. Excitement, obviously, and I also feel that it is such a beautiful and brave and bold move that, you know, the government of India has taken to honor and showcase all the different types of creative people that India has.
This is one of the best things that has happened to comics in recent years, because comics is a reading thing, and reading is a dying art in India. People are not reading anyways. So I really appreciate the government of India's initiative to include comics in this.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
So just as, like I was mentioning that it is an initiative to revive comics, and like Prime Minister on his inaugural day speech, he mentioned that India is the story of 1 billion, because India is a population of 1 billion, and similarly, these stories are coming out which can be later utilized to showcase the world that what power in this particular sector India has. With camera person Gaurav Kagra, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Mumbai.
Well, at the World Audiovisual and Entertainment Summit Waves in Mumbai, Reliance Foundation chairperson Nita Ambani, she delivered an inspiring keynote titled Taking Indian Culture to the World, emphasizing the power of India's storytelling traditions to captivate global audiences. While speaking to Shama Mishra, she in fact passionately advocated Indian culture, and she lauded the Wave Summit.
The legend, the entrepreneur, the philanthropist, Nita Ambani is with us, and she's here to deliver her keynote address on day 2 of Wave Summit. Ma'am, you delivered a very wonderful and beautiful address relating to the Indian culture and how the Indian culture is actually serving the entire world. What really, inspires you to choose this particular topic?
Well, I have been an Indian dancer from the time I'm probably 5 years old. And I think I respect all the artists, the artisans, and all the hard work that they put in. And that is why we created the Nita Ambani Cultural Center 2 years ago. So it's actually an ode to all our Indian artists. And this topic is so dear to me, and I feel at the Reliance Foundation, we are trying our hardest to revive, help all the artists and support them for their livelihood. And that is why I think culture is such an important part of everybody's life.
On day 1 of the Wave Summit, we did see a mesmerizing cultural event at your center, and I understand what exactly you're talking about, how to revive the culture and everything. How do you see the media and entertainment industry going forward with the help of this Wave Summit?
Oh, I think it has brought India on the global stage, and as I said, Waves has already created quite a storm. So I just wish it all the best, and may it continue to bring glory to India. Let the world hear our stories.
Okay.
So I'm very excited about taking Indian culture on the global stage.
That was Nita Ambani talking all about culture, Indian media and entertainment industry. With camera person Gaurav Kagra, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Mumbai.
Well, DD India's Shama Mishra is now joining us from Mumbai with an update. Shama, will sum up a few of the master classes for us and give us a sense of the outcomes at Waves.
Mark, for starters, this was a day, since today is the last day, it was a day for all awards, and we have the awardees with us. They were in the short videos and also the reel making competitions. So since we have these winners, we'll quickly go to them. What category did you win in, and how was your experience?
So I'm selecting in reel making competition. Out of 1 lakh submission, I'm selecting from the India. So it is very amazing experience in Wave 2020. The Wave event supports for the young creators just like me, and I'm very thankful to my family for support. and for to the Modi ji or Modi and government to India,
Okay.
for this event.
What did you create and how was your experience?
Yeah, actually, I was selecting for the YouTube shorts and from Waves Explorer, and I actually congratulate to Prime Minister for the huge platform to give us the creators, policymakers, and for the digital marketing. I strongly believe that in few years the Waves will become a huge platform for the creators who's coming and trying to get the popularity and trying to exploring themselves.
All right.
So this will be a huge platform for the creators and policymakers.
Okay. So this will be a huge platform for the creators, and just like we're talking about these budding artists, even the professional ones who've been there in this industry, they are also getting new avenues, new ways of doing their works, and this is a place where the amalgamation of young and the professional talent happens, and definitely from today on it will be the beginning of a new evolution, new revolution in the media and entertainment industry. Mark.
Thanks very much, Shama Mishra, for joining us from Mumbai. Now, the Defence Research and Development Organization successfully conducted the maiden flight trials of the stratospheric airship platform on May 3. This is from the Shivpur trial site, and that is in Madhya Pradesh. It's developed by the Aerial Delivery Research and Development Establishment, Agra, and this airship was launched carrying an instrumental payload to an altitude of about 17 kilometers. Data from onboard the sensors was received, and it would be utilized for development of high-quality fidelity simulation models for future high-altitude airship flights. The trial teams recovered the system for further investigation. The total duration of this flight was about 62 minutes. In a groundbreaking move to streamline electoral processes and to improve accessibility for citizens, the Election Commission of India is all set to launch ECI-Net. This is a state-of-the-art digital platform designed to serve as a one-stop solution for all electoral-related activities. The new one-stop platform, ECI-Net, it's going to integrate and reorient over 40 of the ECI's existing mobile and web applications. And this move is also designed to alleviate the burden of the users for downloading as well as navigating multiple apps and remembering different logins. The doors of the Badrinath Dham, one of Hinduism's most sacred shrines, were opened today at 6 o'clock in the morning local time. And this was marked by the beginning of 6 months of divine worship and pilgrimage. So hundreds of devotees led by Rawal Amarnath Nambudri, the chief priest of Badrinath, arrived with the festive palanquins of Lord Badri, Vishal, Kuber and also Uddhav. And adding to the spiritual fervor, Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami also visited the holy shrine, offering prayers and overseeing arrangements for the pilgrimage. Earlier, on the 30th of April, the portals of the Gangotri and Yamnotri were opened, initiating Uttarakhand's Chota Char Dham Yatra. This was followed by the opening of the portals of Kedarnath, one of the most revered shrines of Lord Shiv. And this happened on May 2, which attracted a massive gathering of devotees. And still to come here on DD India News Hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to inaugurate the 7th edition of the Khelo India Youth Games virtually, and this is going to be taking place in Bihar. Lucknow Super Giants are going to clash with Punjab Kings in a crucial IPL encounter on Sunday. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. And in the Indian Premier League, Lucknow Super Giants will be desperate to get their campaign back on track as they take on Punjab Kings in Dharamshala. Punjab Kings are well and truly in contention to seed a playoff spot as they are currently fourth in the points table. A win would nearly confirm their spot in the top four. With Shreyas Iyer leading from the front, they should start as favourites against the Super Giants. The Super Giants have been largely inconsistent and are currently stuck in the mid-table logjam with 5 wins and as many defeats. In a stunning fall from grace, the Chennai Super Kings, one of the most successful teams in IPL history, have endured their worst season yet. And with just 2 wins in 10 games, CSK became the first team to be knocked out of the playoff race in IPL 2025. Injuries, outdated strategies and poor performances have all played a part in this collapse. Even MS Dhoni's return as captain couldn't save them. So what went terribly wrong for the men in yellow? Here's the report.
CSK's 2025 collapse. A giant falls. Chennai Super Kings, one of the IPL's most successful franchises, have hit rock bottom in 2025. After 10 matches, the men in yellow became the first team to be knocked out of the playoff contention. With just 2 wins and 8 defeats, it's been a season of setbacks, poor choices, and lost momentum. Outdated approach. CSK's real issues go beyond leadership. Despite signing Deval Brevis and Ayush Matre mid-season, their tactics remained outdated. In a league where aggression rules, CSK stuck to a conservative game. Their power play struggles were glaring. 6 times in 10 matches, they failed to cross 50 in the first 6 overs. Their average power play run rate was 7.91, the lowest this season. Modern T20 demands fast starts. CSK didn't adapt. They hit only 6 sixes in the power play across 10 games. Matre hit 2 of them. That says it all. Even their fortress, Chepauk, offered no comfort. CSK lost 5 of 6 home matches this year. Batting flop show. Their batting was a major letdown. Before the April 30 game against PBKS, they hadn't crossed 200 batting first. The approach was cautious, the result forgettable. Among their top 4, Shivam Dube, Rachin Ravindra, Ravindra Jadeja and MS Dhoni, there were just 3 50s. No big scores, no impact. Bowling blues. CSK's famed spin attack underperformed. Jadeja, R. Ashwin and Noor Ahmed lacked bite. Noor started well but faded. Jadeja and Ashwin couldn't turn games like before. Only Khalil Ahmed stood out. He took 8 power play wickets in 9 innings and bowled a league-high 106 dot balls. But others, like Pathirana, disappointed. Auction blunders. With rupees 55 crore to spend, CSK had a big auction opportunity. But their picks misfired. They chased known names over informed youngsters. Missing Deepak Chahar hurt. Signing players like Rahul Tripathi, Vijay Shankar and Deepak Hooda didn't help. The focus was on experience. The game demanded explosiveness. What now? The big question, will Dhoni return in 2026 or is it time for a fresh chapter? CSK must choose. Rebuild and adapt to modern T20 or cling to the past. Once known for calm and stability, the franchise now stands at crossroads. What they do next could shape the next decade of CSK cricket. Sports Desk, DD India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to inaugurate the 2025 Khelo India Youth Games on Sunday in eastern state of Bihar, with around 10,000 athletes set to take part. Patna, Rajgir, Gaya, Bhagalpur and Begusarai will host most of the sports, while 3 events, shooting, gymnastics and track cycling, will be held in Delhi. Tournament features 28 disciplines including Olympic, non-Olympic and indigenous sports like Malakhambh, Yogasana and Kho-Kho.
हमारा माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के द्वारा स्वयं हर जगह जाके उसका इंस्पेक्शन भी किया गया है, उनका सुझाव भी दिए गए हैं। तो सारे तैयारी हम लोग सारे विभाग, बिहार सरकार का सारे विभाग मिलके इसका तैयारी किए हुए हैं।
And the Union Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports, Mansukh Mandavia, led a special edition of the Fit India Sundays on Cycle campaign. This with teachers, coaches and mentors. Its objective is to spread the message of fitness. And the campaign, titled Cycling with Teachers, aims to improve the people's health and also reduce obesity.
To give fillip to Fit India Sundays on Cycle initiative, Union Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports, Dr. Mansukh Mandavia, joined a special edition of the campaign titled Cycling with Teachers. Highlighting the role of educators, teachers, coaches and mentors, the event aims to further the fight against obesity. Sports Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia led the cycle ride from Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium, where the key participants were teachers, sportspersons, children and general public. The 3-kilometer race concluded at the same venue with an aim to spread the message of fitness. Dr. Mandavia urged people to make cycling part of their routine, as it not only improves physical fitness but also helps in reducing pollution.
7,000 से अधिक स्थानों पर देश के टीचर्स ने साइकिलिंग करके देश को संदेश दिया है। संडे ऑन साइकिल से हम फिट रहते हैं। फिट रहने के लिए शारीरिक करना बहुत आवश्यक है। साइकिलिंग एक ऐसी एक्सरसाइज है जिससे फिट इंडिया का मंत्र भी सोल होता है, जिसमें ओबेसिटी के अगेंस्ट मोदी जी की लड़ाई को भी हम आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं। संडे ऑन साइकिल से हम पोल्यूशन का सॉल्यूशन भी ढूंढ सकते हैं।
Sportspersons also lauded the government's initiative, as cycling has numerous health benefits.
आज जो पहल है या साइकिलिंग इंडिया का जो आज इवेंट है, इसके लिए मैं बहुत सारी सरकार को शुभकामनाएं दूंगा, क्योंकि देखो सरकार जो ये ऐसी मुहिम है, इन पे काम करना सबसे ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि फिटनेस सबसे पहली चीज़ है। और सरकार का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि इस तरीके के इवेंट जो सरकार कर रही है।
मेरे को इस मुहिम के साथ जुड़ के बहुत अच्छा लगा। मैं सभी देशवासियों को यही मैसेज देना चाहूँगा कि आप सभी भी इस मुहिम के साथ जुड़िए और अपने आप को फिट रखिए।
Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the campaign to improve people's health, boost mental well-being and reduce obesity, especially among the youth. Pratik Narayan Singh's report for DD India.
And the Norwegian Casper Ruud will face the 5th seed Jack Draper in the Madrid Open final on Sunday. Ruud reached the title match without dropping a set, and Ruud, who ousted Taylor Fritz and Daniel Medvedev in the previous rounds, played through a rib injury in the semi-final, and he needed treatment 3 games into the opening set, when he managed to stave off 15 out of 18 break points against Francisco Cerundolo. Britain's Draper also reached the final without dropping a set, and Draper will break into the top 5 in the rankings of the world following this impressive run at Madrid, as he chases his second Masters 1000 crown following his triumph at Indian Wells, which happened earlier this season. After a thrilling fight to the finish line, Sovereignty captured the first leg of the US Thoroughbred Racing's famed Triple Crown. The Bay Colt thrived in the wet and sloppy conditions to finish the 1.25 mile race in 2 minutes and 2.31 seconds. 2 minutes, 2.31 seconds, beating the heavy favorite Journalism down the final stretch. Journalism, in fact, finished about a length behind, while Bieza finished third. Bad day for journalism there. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day, and you can get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. That's available on Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on your screens and download it. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lynn from all of us here in Delhi. Thank you for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.